welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Court Winsett.
Hello there.
And Cameron Spann.
Just trying to stay warm.
Definitely staying warm is the key. What are we going to talk about today?
College.
Okay. I like college. Hey, okay, nobody knows that song anymore.
Well, I mean, okay, so if you're just tuning in, we just recently had the National Football Championship for college, and Indiana came out on top. More importantly, now here in this month of January and coming on February, we're about to have the FAFSA application deadline.
That a what-a?
I don't know what FAFSA stands for, but if you're a parent of a kid in high school or college, you've probably heard the term FAFSA before.
Free application for federal student aid.
I've always pronounced it.
FAFSA.
I've always pronounced FAFSA.
That's how I pronounce it.
Like a northerner, FAFSA.
FAFSA.
But
And you say it like you have a Spanish accent, FAFSA.
FAFSA.
Apparently, the week of January 25th, it starts the National College Financial Prep Week.
I feel like you should have been prepping way before that.
Basically, they call it that because that's when they start accepting the FAFSA applications. When this podcast comes out, we will be in the middle of the National College Financial Prep Week.
So picture this. Your student gets accepted in the school they love, and the financial reality hits. Dum, dum, dum. How are you going to pay for it? Tuition, housing, meal plans, Greek life, activities, whatever it may be, it's going to add up very, very fast. Mm-hmm. And so that's why National College Financial Prep Week, we're focusing on crucial tools that can help families navigate those costs. And FAFSA is a main one to think about. So today we're getting down to the basics so you can feel more prepared, less overwhelmed, and ready to take the next step.
Ooh.
But first,
Dun, dun, dun.
top fictional universities.
Whee! So number one on the list, you can tell this list was done by Nicole. Number one on the list is Shiz University from the Broadway musical turned movie Wicked. For anyone who loves a little magic.
That.
So it went book,
it was
show,
a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. The book is very different than the play or the movie.
Absolutely.
For anyone who loves a little magic, big personalities, and life-changing friendships, Shiz is dear old Shiz. Shiz is basically college, but theatrical.
Absolutely.
/ magical, obviously.
Next on the list would be Barden University from the
Barden Bellas! Sorry.
No, that's great. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have seen this, but you would know from Court's little tagline there. This is from the movie Pitch Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Aka awkward. If you want instant friends, competitions, and a campus where everyone randomly breaks into harmony, Barden University's for you.
Yeah.
Do we know what state this fictional university's in?
No.
I can't remember in the films where they're located.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
They give Cali vibes.
Well, I know it's not near L.A. because Becca wants to go to L.A. rather than go to college.
Yes,
and
that's
Dad
right.
won't let her.
That's right.
So
We'll say Sacramento for now.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, what about Monsters University? Monsters University. I was like, Monsters Inc. is what I would think of. The ultimate campus experience, tradition, rivalries, and learning that your path might look different than you planned. So it's kind of little Harry Potter-ish vibes of which path are you going down? Are you going to be a scarer? Are you going to be the technological side of it? What are you going to be?
Well, we know Monsters University has great Greek life because that is the premise of that show.
Yes, it does for sure. It is very fun.
I've never seen that one.
It's
so
very cute.
Moving on. The next one is a university that I had to look up because the movie is Scream 2, but the university that's listed here is not the right university. The Scream 2 university, when the kids all go away to college in Scream Part 2, the university is Windsor University, which is in Ohio. The university that was listed here was Cypress Roads University, which I think you're familiar with.
Yes, CRU is on the show Greek. Absolutely love this show. Love this university. Heavy into Greek life, obviously, with the name of the show. But yeah, when I saw it, I was like, that is not Scream 2.
Yeah.
That is CRU for Greek life.
Well, plus, who would want to go to Windsor? Because Windsor University, where Scream 2 takes place, it's all about the murder.
Yeah.
So, no, let's not go there.
Next on the list is Blue Mountain State from the show Blue Mountain State. If your college plan is football, parties, and chaos, this is the one. I mean, that's every college, right?
I mean, yes, it is. But did I also just hear you say, and maybe it was my imagination, but it sounded like you said, if your college plan.
if your college plan.
All right, Katie, next on the list.
Animal House. This is another one, OG college comedy. This is the iconic shirt that probably a ton of people have seen and maybe not ever seen the movie. That it's Belushi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got just a blue or black sweatshirt and it just says college across the chest. And so this is a great movie. This really shows Greek life. It shows the fun aspects of what parents do not want to think about their kids doing when they are paying out the wazoo for them to go to school.
Indeed.
But it is a fabulous show. Fun little fact, we have a Italian Fest team and Cam took Animal House and mashed it up with our Italian Fest team and made this epic t-shirt that we've now got as a poster, but it had all the elements of Animal House mixed with the Italian Fest stuff. So
It was a fun one.
Another fun fact, my daughter went to the university where this was filmed because this was filmed at University of Oregon. And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's so if you ever go visit campus in Eugene, Oregon, the University of Oregon, you'll see elements of Animal House.
Oh, cool.
They don't advertise it, but they're, it's there.
Very cool. Okie dokie, that is our fictitious list. We know there's many other universities out there, but we want to get to the actual episode.
Mm-hmm.
So what...
Who doesn't want to talk about applications?
Right. So the first step in applying for aid is actually applying. It's completing the free application for federal student aid, FAFSA. It is used to determine eligibility for federal aid programming, including grants, work study options, and loans. Schools also use this to assess whether additional aid is available through the student's state of residence or the school itself. So this really is the first thing you're going to do. You're going to fill this out.
So FAFSA is, it not only will it qualify you for any government loans that you might be eligible for, but schools do look at these applications to determine if you're eligible for need-based scholarship or financial assistance from the school itself. Even though it won't be part of the government loan program, it's still what the schools rely on. So that's it's important for you to get it filled out if you're going to need any sort of assistance with your next level schooling.
I'm on the FAFSA website right now and I'm already stressing out. I'm like, wait, I don't have to do this. I'm just looking.
So they do have a website. Obviously, they've made it a little bit more in the 21st century of us having electronic access to fill this out. What to expect? It's going to ask you about 50 questions.
Yikes.
Most of this information families already have, like personal information, marital status, citizenship, tax and income information, household size, schools the student plans to attend, parents' details, their income, their assets, their education history.
Yeah, I mean, you say it's mostly stuff that people already have, but you do have,
you have to pull a lot together.
You have to pull a lot together to fill this thing out.
So a pro tip on here is pull your tax return and basic household information so you're not hunting those things down mid-form. I would expect this would be one of those that, like a lot of online forms, hopefully you're able to go through it and then save as you go.
Yeah, definitely save your progress if that's an option.
But this is probably a family affair. This is kind of getting everybody together, and this is something that's a group effort to get this completed. You shouldn't expect to just try and get it all knocked out yourself.
Yeah, and this isn't something your kids are going to be able to do. Like, if this is for your child's consideration for financial assistance as they go off to school, they can't. You can't ask them to just do it on their own. This is something you're going to have to help them with.
Yeah, absolutely. So tips for navigating income-related questions. The role of tax returns. So FAFSA uses a 2-year look back for financial data. So example, the 2025 to 2026 FAFSA uses the 2023 tax return data. Because of that, tax returns filled in the student's last 2 years of college will not affect aids awarded.
To recap that, to make sure I'm understanding, basically what they're saying is because it's a 2-year look back, you're looking at, because you do have to resubmit your FAFSA application every single year.
Every year.
School. The last time you would have to submit it is your junior year, the summer before your senior year, after your junior year. So,
this is kind of an aside, but I'm on their website, and due dates for this, it just depends on the state you're in. Like Texas is January 15th of this year. Tennessee, where we are based out of, is March 2nd. Some are August, so it's all over the board.
Oh, weird.
This is wild.
Who was that? She said it was January 15th? Because, sorry, this podcast is coming too late. Sorry, Texas. We're We're a little too late to talk to you.
Well, it says for priority consideration.
For priority.
Submit by January 15th.
Okay.
But they don't have another option. January 15th.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, okay, whose data should be used? If parents live apart and are divorced or separated, factors must be evaluated to determine which parent's information must be provided. Okay, so that's a court term. It depends. You really got to figure that out. But this is part of the conversation that you need to be having prior to these documents being due. Looking at which parent provides the most financial support during the 12 months prior to filing. If support is split equally, FAFSA uses the parents with the highest income. If the custodial parents has remarried, the step parents' information must also be included. If the student's parents are divorced, separated, or never married but still live together, both parents are required to provide information. Whew! That's a lot.
Basically what FAFSA is looking for is your household income. And by household income, they mean anybody that lives in the house with the child whose application is being filed, that person's income must be considered in. So it doesn't matter whether you're married or if you're living in the house and you're sharing expenses in the house, then your income is considered.
But court, I don't want to help my kid. Why does my income matter?
Yeah, no, fair. Honestly, there are parents that tell their kids, "Hey, I had to pay for my own college. You do too."
Yep.
So that kid is kind of a little. I
SOL?
mean, yeah, a little bit SOL because even though their parents could be could completely disqualify them for need-based assistance, but they still have to find a way to finance their own education. Then they're just taking out loans, basically.
So determining the Student Aid Index, or the SAI, it's a measure that helps determine how much federal aid a family may receive, what is considered parental income and assets, student income and assets, and the number of family members attending college at the same time.
Now, see
with me, I'm going to have twins. So that's going to then it's going to take mine and my husband's income, but it's going to divide that I've got two of them going to school at the same time.
Yeah, we always had, with the exception of Keki's first 2 years, we always had at least two in school at the same time.
So what SAI, Student Aid Index, is not. Many people incorrectly assume that it is the amount a family is expected to pay. In reality, it is simply a number used by schools to determine whether federal aid is available and how much. Because obviously this is a huge way for across the board, states, schools, everything to really figure out how do they need to divide out their aid? How do they need to take care of stuff? It is not a big bad wolf trying to, tell you can't have this aid, you can't do this. There is a calculated system of why these questions, why these forms are put in place. Yeah. And yes, they're grueling, but it's to make sure they're trying to be as fair and as due diligent with it. Like they've really gone through and figured out what's best for it.
One of the things that they mention is both parents and students' income and assets. So what assets are actually considered? What assets does FAFSA look at?
So, parental assets, these are a low impact is what it says. Reportable parental assets include cash and bank account funds, trust funds, 529 accounts, and more. Parental assets have low impact. Up to 5.64% of parental assets value affect the student aid index.
Now, let's do a little side note here.
Yep.
We won't. I won't go too far into the weeds, but I do want to point out one of the things that you learn when you're learning all of this stuff is that they look at the parents who own 529s. They do not look at grandparents who own 529s.
Yes, so it's beneficial if a grandparent is the owner.
Yeah.
That is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
Because with that, it's great. Oh, we're already skipping ahead. Grandparent-owned 529 plans are not considered as assets or income on the FAFSA when contributions occur out of this plan. So, that is why a lot of times we press, if grandparents are wanting to give gifts to their kids, it's better for them to have their own 529 plan than gift it to the parent-owned 529 plan.
Okay, now on the other hand, if you are the student that's on whose behalf this application is being filed, or if you're filing it yourself, then your assets, the assets that you possess, are going to have a high impact on your qualification for financial aid. The student assets include property that the student owns at the time FAFSA is completed, which would include any sort of kid savings account or UTMA or UGMA account. Those things are going to be considered assets that are yours. Once you've turned 18, they belong to you. A 529 account that you don't own is not considered your asset. It is your parents' asset because they could technically change the beneficiary of that account at any time. And we already talked about the grandparent thing. So up to 20% of a student's asset value will affect their SAI.
So that's why it's important how you structure these accounts as you're thinking about, oh, we want to do something for our kid. Maybe it's better to have it under the parent's name where the parents control it instead of in the kid's name, because then you're looking at a 20% versus a 5.64% impact. Protected assets. These are ones that are not reportable. Assets that are not included: 401ks, pension, 403bs, IRAs, and other retirement plans, equity in a primary residence, certain family-owned businesses and farms, life insurance, annuities, personal possessions. So any of that, if your kid's already got a retirement account, or if they've been working, cutting grass, doing different things, and you've set up a Roth IRA for them, none of that's considered.
Nor is yours.
Roth so if you've got a huge, $1 million 401k plan, that's not taken into consideration.
Right.
This is truly what they're looking at is what are the liquidity? What are the assets that you could liquidate to pay for school?
Yeah. Okay. So what are some myths out there?
Mythbusters.
Let's bust some myths. First of all, financial aid is only for smart or poor students.
What?
That's honestly, if you really think about it, generally speaking, you're like, I'm going to apply for financial aid. You would think, well, it's going to go to people who are really in need, people who are poverty stricken, or the really smart kids. That's a merit-based scholarship thing more than financial aid. But no, financial aid comes in many forms and from many sources, and it beyond traditional need or merit-based aid. Let's face it, guys. Listen, if you've looked at college prices lately, they're out of this world, and not necessarily in a good way. So everybody, it doesn't really matter how well off you are. You still might need some assistance, or your child might still need some assistance actually paying the rates that colleges are asking for these days.
Yeah, and it's, as we said before, just because somebody's got a great job doesn't mean they've got the liquidity, doesn't mean they have the assets to be able to afford to do this. So financial aid comes in many forms and from many sources beyond traditional need and merit-based aid. It may come from federal government, the college itself, state government, local community organizations, parents' employer, research, all possibilities. College especially, education, whether it's trade school, university, do not be too prideful to see what's out there, because there are constantly different scholarships, different organizations, different grants, loans, things like that can have a benefit. And if you're able to leverage your cash flow, be able to invest in your child to then get them the education they needed, there's a fine line. Don't just take out loans to take out loans. Mm-hmm. Make sure that it's truly what they want to be doing. So here's another myth. College savings prevents students from qualifying for aid.
No.
Now, we already talked about that. Savings may not disqualify a student. The aid formula is primarily income driven. Families with savings often have more options. Families without savings may rely heavily on borrowing, and student loan interest can cost more than a long term than using the savings.
Yes.
Myth number 3. Once the school year starts, it's too late to apply. Earliest date to submit FAFSA is October 1 before the academic year. Deadline is June 30th of the next calendar year. Many colleges have preferential deadlines for maximum aid consideration, but late filing can still provide aid opportunities. Every college is different. Confirm deadlines with each school.
Yeah, we already saw that Texas has their own rules. So I would say check the website. That's your best place to have the most up-to-date on deadlines.
I will not speak as though I know this to be true for certain, but I'm kind of guessing that maybe the October 1 opening for FAFSA is because I think the deadline for like early when you apply to one school and if they let you in, you go.
Yeah.
I think the deadline for those applications is like October 15th. So
Gotcha.
It makes sense that they would have it at least open by October 1. But that, again, is just a guess. Then there's this final myth, Katie. What is this last one?
Students shouldn't indicate they're applying for aid on the admissions application.
So applying for financial aid doesn't impact the admission decisions?
Nope. It's smart to indicate you're applying for aid so the college can open a financial aid file and track required forms. Okay.
Okay. I've gone through this with two of my kids.
You have 3 children.
Yes, no, I know, but one wasn't really looking for a whole lot of financial assistance. The one that I remember the most, like, they beat us over the head when Keiki was going through college search. They beat us over the head with, especially with a lot of the schools that she was looking at. They were like, everybody applies for financial aid. Don't be afraid. It's not gonna negatively impact you if you indicate that you need financial assistance. We take that into consideration. It will not harm your chances of getting in. No, she still didn't get into that particular school, but apparently it wasn't financial need based.
We need to have an episode on student loan forgiveness because I'm on this website and they have a whole page on it. It's like ways to qualify if you're a teacher, if you're a government employee. And then it's like loan discharge and cancellation options. It's like discharge due to death.
Well, and one of the interesting things that I'm hearing more about right now, I have some kids that are looking at graduate schools and how are they going to pay for those graduate schools. And so all of this stuff is coming back up, loans and financing of graduate school and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a totally different ballgame. Totally different ballgame when you're talking about secondary. This is definitely something a lot of great high schools, a lot of great college prep organizations kind of help you walk through these FAFSA forms. I know we've over the years have helped clients work with this. You do this and then you kind of figure out what are they going to offer, and then you go to the drawing boards of, okay, now what are my other options? And that's where working closely with the financial advisor to figure out how are you going to pay for it, and looking at the big picture, but then also taking it bite size and looking at each semester, things like that. Lots of different options out there. Lots of bad information about it as well. And so it's best to really figure out what works best for you. But unfortunately, for most people, this is a document that you've got to fill out. And it's just part of it. Everybody can suffer together.
Do it.
It can kind of be your party go-to where somebody's like, oh, how are things going? You're like, oh, that FAFSA. And they're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. Everybody just kind of knows.
Just do it.
Yep.
Just suck it up and do it. Do it. Well, what do you know? There's the closing bell. Ladies and gentlemen, you have made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there, we've got bios, and we've got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But I mentioned pictures. We do have pictures on Instagram. That Instagram handle is @BullcastPodcast. We also have an X handle, which is also @BullcastPodcast. And rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is Bullcast the Podcast. So check us out there. Ladies and gentlemen, every single episode, I like to mention the fact that Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out even more about the four of us, or find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, or find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you everything you need to go forth and put all of your financial information on a document that you will submit to schools so that they will give you money, otherwise known as FAFSA. So for now, I'm Court.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.